そうだ。
Welcome to Food House. Steak. Do you care about it? Then listen up. When it comes to the stovetop, there are two basic ways you could go. Get a handle on these and you can fast cook a slab of meat just as well as any restaurant out there. As always, from these basic food house ideas, the possibilities are endless. One approach is sear, finish in a hot oven. That's the most common way to go, and it's a great one. We'll talk more about that another time. For now, let's flip the script on that steak by starting it in the oven and finishing it with a sear. This technique is one you should have in your back pocket. It makes beautiful, sexy steaks. Let's do it. Let's make the best steak of your life. I always cook my steaks with a salt and pepper crust. More salt than you think you need, and a healthy dose of pepper. Put it on a rack and into a preheated 275-degree oven it goes. Yeah, just hot enough to gradually cook it through without triggering any searing or browning action. I'm looking to pull it out of the oven when the internal temperature is 125. A thick piece like this will take about 45 minutes to an hour. You can fly blind, but I like to use a probe thermometer. There. And now, I let it rest. Our meat is still rare on the inside, and the carryover cooking from the residual heat plus how we're about to finish it off will keep that internal temperature rising. At the end of the day, we're looking to just touch 135. After about 15 minutes of resting, I give it a hard sear in a hot cast iron pan, maybe 1 minute aside. Some canola oil in there if you like, but otherwise a dry pan. There are basic advantages to doing it this way. One, because the surface of the meat is pretty warm, around 200 degrees, we're able to get a much harder sear in a much shorter amount of time. Number two, the time in the oven has made the surface generally drier overall. 3, the meat's proteins are now primed for browning. And 4, because we already rested our steak mid-process, we can sear it, slice it, and serve it piping hot right away. No waiting. So, what is so cool about this technique? Well, you see, when you cook a steak with the traditional sear oven technique, you usually, not always, but usually get a bullseye effect like this. A hard crust on the outside, then a thin ring of well done, then a ring of medium well, then medium, all the way down until you reach your desired medium rare doneness in the middle. It's not bad, in fact, there are merits to this effect. But wouldn't it be great if my whole steak could be medium rare? That's what our bizarre technique here achieves. We get a very thin layer of charred crust on either side, and the entire steak, edge to edge, is that uniform medium rare. Let's take a look. Wow, that's intense. So flip the script on the high heat sear oven technique. Cook it low and slow to temp and finish it with a more incredible sear than you've ever gotten before.